Hello everyone, I am Sefra Alexandra, the Seed Huntress, and I want to welcome you to the majestic, magnificent, and wondrous world of seeds. Seeds are living embryos, the most elegant and distilled form of all the botany that abounds. Their architecture, as seen in these photos from the book, Seeds, Time Capsules of Life, remind us that each unique variety, each unique seed is a wondrous library, safeguarding the secrets of the soil where it was grown, the sun and wind and pollinators that visited them, and hands that have held them. These seeds are the great lineage between all of our ancestors and their stewardship of place. As we are in this beautiful conversation around creatively healing our planet, I invite you to remember and rejoin in the ancient art and tradition of seed saving. Seeds are the genetic legacies of our earth, with place-based intelligence forged since time immemorial. They are the great artistic palettes of our wild lands and the greatest tools of resilience we have in the face of changing climates. As we safeguard these arcs of biodiversity, the embryos that grow the world's food, sustenance, and medicine, the heirlooms handed down from generation to generation, carried by migrating peoples and animals as their taste of home, culture, and terroir. I have traveled the globe on ethnobotanical expeditions to assist communities in safeguarding their bioregionally adapted seeds, germinating and providing sustenance in the great biomes of the earth for over 360 million years. Where species first emerge on the planet is known as their center of origin. This is where the greatest diversity of their crop wild relatives are found. The ancestors to our domesticated field crops that allowed us to transition from a hunter-gatherer society to an agroecological and agrarian-based society. Our world's seeds are safeguarded by the Gene Bank platform, with seed banks that back up these great arcs of diversity ex situ or in a cold storage out of the soil to ensure the genetics of these bioregionally adapted varieties are not lost, all safeguarded as a backup in Svalbard, the global seed vault. My fieldwork in the South Pacific chronicled the cultural totem crop taro and tells the tale of their version of the Irish potato famine, a crop so important to food security and their traditional cultural practices was almost lost due to a blight. The diversity from centers of origin had to be regathered, starting the taro seed bank at CPACT, and thus ensuring we could rebreed this staple food crop to be blight resistant, as it is the 14th most eaten vegetable in the world. Blights are not the only threat to our seeds. Man-made and natural disasters are occurring far more frequently. In our work in Haiti, unfortunately experiencing many of these devastating events, we help to fortify a community seed bank. By this model, if and when the next disaster strikes, they have a regionally adapted resource of seeds to immediately replant their fields without having to rely on foreign aid. A closed-loop system approach that is self-facilitating, self-perpetuating, and a self-regulating system. This supports ecosystem restoration, food security, seed sovereignty, access to nutritional diversity, and supports, rather than undercuts, their agroeconomic system. Of course, the preferred method of seed conservation is certainly in situ, in place, in the local soils where it belongs, as stewarded by Aboriginal folks the world over for medicine, sustenance, food, fiber, and supporting the symphonies of wildlife in their vital needs. When we speak of implementing seed-based ecological restoration, we need to put our bug eyes on and see it from our entomological partners in pollination and the great seed dispersers of wing and fur. They do not see where one state begins or ends. They see riparian corridors, broadleaf forests, phytogeographic regions, phyto, plant, geographic, place. In this sense, to do true restoration, we must work off of a shared framework. Here's the EPA's eco-regional map and broad stroke artistic mosaic of shared data sets that serves as a baseline for seed collection. In saying, if we collect genetics from within this ecoregion, we can be confident that we can rewild them throughout that corridor and know we are putting the right plants in the right place. My work has been centered around fortifying a Northeast native seed supply chain to make truly local native seed available by working with regeneratively trained botanists, organic farmers, and nurserymen and women. In an effort to spread the word and spread the seed, we launched BOATanical.org because we are botanists, not botanists. In canoes and Polynesian outriggers, we have paddled the gorgeous Connecticut River corridor, the Algonquin term for the long tidal river, a vital passage system in the transports of seeds, animals, and trade. In an era where urbanization encroaches our riparian corridors, we plant these native plants back in the living seed bank, the soil, and celebrate stewardship of place like our ancestors. Once these plants root, the myriad dispersal mechanisms of nature, by wind, anemochory, by bird, ornithockery, by water, hydrockery, and by human, anthropochory. We must sink our perennial taproots into the soil, providing ecosystem services to the mycelial wood wide web of society. We all have a role to play in caretaking our earth. Creatively healing and rewilding our lands is as simple as saving and planting a seed. The ROI of seed is extraordinary. Plant one and the next year you can harvest thousands. As my great mentor says, which has greater technology, your iPhone or a seed? It's the seed, ever adapting since time immemorial. It is time we pay as much reverence to the charismatic microflora as we do to charismatic megafauna. Fortify your seed shed in the same way we have learned to protect our watersheds. Join us, find a friend, a paddle, and a native plant, and you will be stepping in as a person of the pinch, choosing to not let the erosion and genocide of plant biodiversity wash away, but step in and safeguard the exquisite biodiversity that still exists in this pinch of time. The key to creatively healing our planet lies in the simple elegance of the seed. You don't need to board a plane to the Himalayas to go on expedition. We, as citizen scientists and stewards of ecology, recognize that the greatest adventure and need can be found in our own backyard expeditions.